Good afternoon, guys. It's a cloudy Monday afternoon. This is London Loop Day 7. Today I'll be walking sections 9 and 8 in reverse, starting at Hatton Cross, then finishing my day at Ewell. It's almost 27.5k, so it's going to be quite a long one today actually. So yeah, let's get on with it. So, day 7. Well, let me start by quickly recapping about day 6, which was a couple of days ago, where I started off at Oxbridge and then ended it at Hatton Cross. That was quite a straightforward day, but halfway through the walk it rained, so I sort of rushed through the second half of the walk. Hopefully today, even though it's cloudy, it isn't going to rain, so it should be pretty straightforward. It's also one of the longer walks though, and I'm starting quite late in the day. So hopefully by the time I finish it will be about 6:30, 7, and we should be good to go. We're coming up to our first obstacle, which is the crossing. So let's get to the other side. I had to cross the road underneath through this bridge. I would have absolutely missed this one. But luckily, just before I started today, I was watching the London Loop walk by John Rogers, and he was pointing out the exact thing that he almost missed it. So luckily, I need to look forward to it and actually cross the road in the right direction. So here we are. We started off in a very busy road by Hatton Cross near the airport. Now we are walking in some sort of woodland area. Yeah. I feel like I need to quickly look at my planned route and get my bearings straight. Then I can continue to talk about which direction we're heading. So, looks like for the next 4 or 5k's, we're going to be walking alongside the River Crane and get further into sort of a Hounslow Way. And then eventually we'll get to Kingston, where I'll be finishing this section 9. I'll be starting section 8. I feel like because it's such a long walk today, I came very prepared. So I got up in the morning, had a large breakfast, so I'm good to go. Hopefully when we get to Kingston, we'll have our lunch break there, take a half an hour break or something, and then crack on with it. Now, when I started the day off today, the weather was beautiful, it was quite warm, but by the time I got to Heathrow, Hatton Cross, things have gotten a bit cloudier and gloomy, but it shouldn't be a problem because the temperature is fairly cool today. Decided to wear the walking boots again because knowing that it rained over the last couple of days, it will be muddy, and I'm glad I've done it because I can already feel part of the paths are a bit more wet than I expected them to be. So yeah, that's pretty good. Now, today is an important day in our walk because we're actually crossing over from north to south. So we are going to be crossing over the River Thames at Kingston Bridge. Even though I am almost 70% of the way into this walk, this feels like the official halfway point where I'm crossing over. Now, the original aim was to get the challenge done by end of August, which I will be doing. So I've got day 7 today, I've got day 8 on Wednesday, then I'm doing day 9 on Friday if I'm correct, and I'm doing day 10 the following week Monday. So by the 29th of August, 30th the latest, I should finish this challenge. What I'm doing is I'm taking my time to sort of go through the videos, edit them, put them together, because it is taking a lot of time. I had some trouble with my computer, it kept crashing quite a few times when I'm exporting the video file. So yeah, I am taking it easy. So hopefully by the end of this week you'll have this video up, then I'll sort of slowly keep up with the pace and eventually get to editing all of them. Quick stop to sort of look at the River Crane here. It's quite scenic, quiet, no one's around, so yeah, I'm just going to crack on with it really. Yeah, in this walk I'm going to be constantly reminded that I am still very close to one of the busiest airports in the world, Heathrow. So yeah, you're going to constantly hear and see planes in the background during this walk, but hopefully the further I get away from, you know, Heathrow, the quieter it's going to get, and I'll get to enjoy the peacefulness of this lovely Crane River and the pathway. Looks like this sort of wooden pathway is ending here. We are on solid ground again. Just came across our second London Loop sign of the day, which is always a good thing that we know that we're walking in the right direction. I feel like I'm rushing this one because knowing I've started quite late. Normally I start these walks about 10 in the morning and it's 12:30 now because it took a long time to get to where I am from Enfield. Yeah, didn't start till about 12:30 because I left mine at 11. It took almost an hour and a half to get from Enfield to basically Heathrow on the Piccadilly line, which is quite a long journey really. So a bit of a late start. So hopefully by the time I finish today, it will be about 6:30. Still daylight because the sunset's not till about 8 o'clock today, and I'll be finishing at Ewell. It took me a while to learn how to pronounce that name because it's E-U-W-E-L-L or E-W-E-L-L, so it's like Ewell. So I watched a video on how to pronounce it. So we'll be finishing at Ewell, which is near Sutton, and I'll be getting a train from there into London Waterloo, then making my way home really from there. So yeah, should be, the journey back is pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's that. I'm trying to keep an average pace of about 6k an hour. So by the next 2 hours, so by 2 o'clock, I should be reaching Kingston Bridge and we can take a break there. Okay, we're coming up to another major road that we need to cross, and afterwards it looks like we'll be entering Hounslow Heath, which is a park I believe, and I'll be walking around the edges of Hounslow Heath. We're still following the River Crane. This road seems like a much quieter road compared to the previous road that we had to walk. So far we've been walking through the Donkey Wood as part of the Crane Valley Park. So yeah, let's go and cross the road, get to the other side, and then join the London Loop again. Right, we had to walk past this petrol station to get into Hounslow Heath again. That could have been easily missed, so if you ever walk in this, make sure you do cross over by the petrol station and you join the path. So we're still in Donkeywood and Brazil Millwood, so all these new names I'm hearing the first time. I guess, as I've said before, the good thing about walking the London Loop is you explore all these new places that you've never heard of before. So yeah, let's carry on. The other thing about the London Loop walks are you try to stick to the original route as much as possible, but sometimes you do tend to get distracted and sort of go slightly away from the main route. So sometimes I do my best to stick to it, other times I just go in slight little, off sections to explore other things that are there as well. I guess that is part of any adventure. So I just discovered that this section of the London Loop, which is section 9, also follows the River Crane walk up to sort of the middle of Hounslow Heath. Now, I quickly sort of had a look at my planned route. Originally, my planned route's telling me to sort of take River Crane and then sort of take a little shortcut, but I'm going to stick to the actual London Loop, which is to go through Hounslow Heath, then sort of come out the other way. Yeah, so that might add another 10-20 minutes to my walk though, but it's nothing major. So yeah, we're going to follow the slightly new route and stick to the original path of the London Loop. I must say, so far, this has been quiet, really quiet actually, and quite a nice walk. I ran into like 3-4 other people, some joggers, 2 other hikers. Looks like they were doing the London Loop in the opposite direction. Yeah, no complaints at all actually. And having a cooler weather makes the whole walking process so much nicer compared to walking in the heat or the sun. So yeah, so far, no complaints at all. Yeah, as you saw, there are quad bikes in this path. I don't know if you're allowed to have quad bikes in this park, but I'm gonna have to look into that actually. But yeah, very odd. I haven't had the opportunity, or I've never come across a quad bike as part of the London Loop. I'm sure it's illegal to have a quad bike in a place like this, but there's always going to be some interesting characters that do things they shouldn't be doing, I guess. Oh well. So far, the route is fairly clear, minus the quad bike. We are in Hounslow Heath right now, and just going to carry on, really. Yeah, so I did a bit of a research. Of course, you can't have quad bikes or any motor vehicles in a park like this. So I had to have a quick look. I just went on Twitter and quickly contacted the authorities just to say that there are some questionable characters in this park who are, doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. But walk-wise, I've done 5k so far, and yeah, we're cracking on with it. It's an odd one really. I've done about 2/3 of the London Loop so far, and it's the first time I've actually come across some sort of antisocial behaviour. I guess it is Hounslow after all, and it sounds bad for me to say it, but it is what it is. Alright, we are out of Hounslow Heath and walking up Staines Road. This is like the busy road section we need to walk through to cut through to the other side. Yeah, that park was a bit dodgy. So yeah, be careful if you're walking through Hounslow Heath, because there are some questionable characters doing questionable things. So we've finally come off that main road and turned into Crane Park, and we're walking alongside the River Crane again. Yeah, that last stretch was a bit sort of, boring and on the main road, a bit of traffic. But I guess with every London Loop section, there's always going to be a segment of it where you do have to walk through suburban areas to get to the other side. I guess it is what it is. I've done about 6k so far, so got a fair amount to go till we get to Kingston. I'm actually looking forward to Bushy Heath as well. That should be a good one. We just got to the Crane Park Island Nature Reserve. Behind me is some sort of old tower. It's not a water tower, it's the shop tower. So yeah, interesting. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break here and then get back on the trail. Yeah, so I took a short 5-minute break at Crane Park, came across that interesting monument. Yeah, but back on the trail now. This is actually quite beautiful, really. Like, you can see close to the water. I guess when it did rain, the water levels must have come up to here, but it's gone back to being a bit dry again. I just saw my first London Loop sign after a long time. I think the last one I saw was right at the beginning of this park. I'm sort of right at the end now. But it feels like I'm walking through autumnal woodland scene, even though we're still in summer, because it's been so dry. Most of the trees are shedding their leaves, sort of stay alive really. But yeah, lovely park actually, such a beautiful park, Crane Park. Yeah, do come and visit. Yeah, I'm just cutting through. I've also looked at the distance I've covered so far. I've done 7.5k, which means I'm like a quarter of the way in, so I've got a lot more distance to cover today. So I need to sort of crack on with it and pick up my pace actually. So yeah, that's the plan. As you can probably hear, we're coming up to a busy A road, and there is a bridge where we're going to cross over. And the bridge also is to go over the River Crane as well. Alright, we've come out on the other side. I feel like there's a few other different roads that we need to cross because it's quite a busy junction, like a big roundabout, and we have to sort of go through all these little crossings and bridges to get to the other side. Yeah, but so far so good. Quite well signposted, so no problems here. Our next little crossing. I think I took a wrong turn somewhere, and now I'm trying to find my way back again onto London Loop. So yeah, that's that. Okay, we're back on track now. Finally found some London Loop signs. It's just when we came out of Crane Park, I followed the River Crane instead of taking a left. I took a right, but we're back on track. Saw some signs. Yeah, let's go. We are currently walking down Cross Close Avenues. We're somewhere between Twickenham, Strawberry Hill and Bushy Park, I believe. So again, an area I'm not familiar with at all, so I'm constantly looking at my route and adjusting accordingly. I walk straight down this road, then we need to cross over and walk through a park, I guess. Yeah, so far so good. Alright, we come off the main road, crossed into this park area and walking alongside Twickenham Golf Club. So yeah, yet another golf club in our walk. Good thing is we don't have to walk through any golf courses today, just around the edges of it. I've always been curious about golf as a game, no idea how it works, but I am very much interested in finding out one day, yeah, and giving it a go really. It has got a bit darker in the last couple of minutes. That's probably because there are a lot of clouds and the weather's changing quite a lot today. Yeah, temperature's dropped down a bit. I can hear some sort of train or construction happening in the distance, maybe another road that I need to cross over, but so far so good. Just came across another London Loop sign, so yeah, heading in the right direction. Terrain's changed a little bit. We're walking on sort of like loose gravel, which isn't too bad actually, but yeah, I just get the feeling that it's going to be a long walk today, and I'm already feeling a bit tired actually. So I think when I get to Bushy Park, that'd be a good place to take a lunch break. We got out of that fairly busy section. Now it's a straight stretch down to Bushy Park. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's scenic at certain areas, then it gets a bit boring, and you're walking through suburbia and it gets scenic again. I guess the last couple of sections I've walked have been completely scenic, so I'm a bit like, where's the scenery? But I know for a fact when I get to Bushy Park it'll be incredibly scenic. Then we're walking towards Kingston Bridge, the River Thames. Yeah, it should all be good. I must say, this road, specifically this road in section 9, has some of the nicest houses and you know, yeah, had to be mentioned. I just made it to Bushy Park and I completely forgot that they have deers in Bushy Park, and you can see a couple right behind me over there. I'm not going to go any closer to them and disturb them or anything like that though. But they're there, they are beautiful, and it's such a lovely park to walk through. I've been here before years ago, but it's nice to come back here again and take a short break. Walking through Bushy Park and taking a short break and spending time with the deers, that's definitely made my day. There's quite a few deers at the moment. There is one right behind me grazing by that tree over there. I don't know if you can see it. And there's loads of them scattered everywhere. Obviously, you do want to keep your distance from the animals and not disturb them. But yeah, they're there doing their own thing. While walking through Bushy Park, I've had plenty of time to think about things. And I was wondering why sections 9 and 8 are quite long. Then I realised when I did sections 11 and 10, they were two of the shortest sections in the entire loop, because both of them together were 8.5, whereas these two sections, they're almost 28k. So there's one of them is 14, the other one is just over 14, I believe. So no wonder I'm feeling a bit knackered already, and I haven't even completed section 9 yet. Hopefully, when I reach the end of Bushy Park and get to Kingston, I would actually have completed section 9. I can sit down and take a break, and then start section 8 from there. Yeah, this is probably one of the longest ones yet. There is another longer section coming up, not on Wednesday, but in a couple of days' time. So that's day 9, the one between Hamsey Green and Petswood. That's quite a long section as well. Oh well, let's crack on with it. So we've just come off the main path and taking like a slightly woodland trail. I believe it's called the Waterhouse Plantation. So yeah, more things to explore in Bushy Park. And I've just seen the London Loop sign as well, so I know I am heading in the right direction. And this place is absolutely gorgeous. Oh wow. Walking through these gardens is such a relaxing thing to do, and it's quite a bit of a surprise as well, because I haven't actually been to this part of Bushy Park before. So yeah, it's nice discovering this part of Bushy Park and walking through the gardens. I feel like I could happily end the day today here at Bushy Park, then walk up to Kingston, find a lovely pub by the River Thames, have a pub lunch, and head home. You know what? It's quite tempting for me to do that, because I can always come back and do the next section another day. But because I've already made a plan, I'm going to push on, because every time I run into something nice in Bushy Park, I just want to stop and just relax, really. Oh well. We've already made a plan to complete section 9 and 10. Sorry, 9 and 8. And we'll definitely finish 9 today. And I'm going to push through section 8 as well. So yeah, let's go. As I was saying earlier, it is the Waterhouse Plantation. Such a beautiful part of Bushy Park. we are still walking through Bushy Park. I guess a very large part of section 9 runs through Bushy Park, so yeah, we're taking our time, we're getting through here and making the most out of the scenery. As we are nearing the end of section 9, I believe this is a great time for me to summarise this section. Now, when we started off at Hatton Cross, it was loud, it was busy because we're right next to the airport. As we sort of went into, followed the crane, River Crane, and went into the country parks, it got a bit more scenic. Then when we got to Hounslow, it was a bit all over the place because I ran into a bunch of interesting characters, should I say, who were on quad bikes in Hounslow Heath when they shouldn't be. So you never know how to sort of deal with characters like that. They didn't do anything, they just literally ignored me and carried on quad biking. But it is what it is, so you are eventually going to run into some, characters like that in many of your London walks, because London's full of them. But other than that, it's been an absolutely beautiful walk. No complaints at all. Now, then we entered Bushy Heath, and that's just been wonderful. And yeah, so by the time we leave Bushy Heath, we'll be at Kingston Bridge and finishing section 9 and starting section 8. So yeah, the goal is to get to Kingston Bridge, I guess. That's the plan. Loads of deers in the woods there. Okay, we're going to be leaving Bushy Park very soon, the last couple of 100 metres, and then we'll be crossing the Kingston Bridge, where I will be finishing section 9 and starting section 8. Let's go. Okay, we've finally made it to Kingston. Behind me is River Thames, so section 9 is completed and we're about to start section 8 of our London Loop walk. Let's go. It looks like for most of this section we're going to be following the Hogsmill River and get out of Kingston, and then we're going to go into a park of some sort. So yeah, again, Kingston, I've been here once or twice before while I was at university. That was over 12 years ago. So yeah, not too familiar with the place, but so far it looks pretty peaceful and quiet. I mean, currently we're walking through a lot of build-up area. I guess it's eventually going to open up to a more sort of park, foresty, woodland area. Oh well, this is good so far. I think we've got another 12k to go till we end this section and London Loop day 7. So, section 8 seems to be pretty straightforward. It looks like we're going to be following the Hogsmill all the way into sort of Berrylands, Surbiton way along the river. So we're walking upriver, by the way, because the Hogsmill joins the River Thames at Kingston. We're walking upriver, should I say, and yeah, heading in the direction of Surbiton. So this path I'm walking through right now is quite narrow and extremely overgrown. I feel like, it is opening up a little bit more though, but when I joined it earlier, about 100 meters ago, it was literally like I had to walk really badly. Oh well. Oh, we got chickens. Hello. This is interesting. I've never ran into chickens before. And they have names. This is a primary school, I guess, so yeah. We've actually got chickens in this walk. Wow. Yes, chickens, what a surprise. Now yeah, we're going to be following the Hogs Mill all the way to Ewell. It sort of takes on little narrow pathways like this, then it'll eventually open up to a green space that's coming up soon. But yeah, again, very lovely and new environment that I've never walked before. Just had a quick look at my route. I've got another 11 point something K to go, so I'm like 2/3 of the way in. Still plenty of walking left. I am feeling a bit knackered. I feel like I didn't really take a lunch break yet, so I should be taking a lunch break soon when I get to a much more open space. So far so good. I'm walking along the river, schools, allotments. Yeah, scenic, but scenic in a completely different way to how the previous sections were, because I feel like I'm literally cutting through Kingston, through suburbia into Surbiton really. Okay, we're walking through this very, very quiet road heading towards Berrylands train station. I only know where Berrylands is because I took a train to get to Surbiton last year to meet some friends. So yeah, we're heading in that direction. We are miles away from the Hogs Mill River. We will be joining it soon. I just came across another London Loop sign, so I know I'm going the right direction, but it was nice to sort of walk for the last sort of 25 minutes with literally no noise being made, and it's quite a nice peaceful walk really. Now I need to look at my map again to make sure I am going in the right direction. You know how I always talk about edgelands and getting an edgeland feeling when you're walking through the or walking through Greater London, at the edges of Greater London. I'm definitely getting that edgeland feeling in this area right now. I'm walking next to Hogs Mill Nature Reserve and a water treatment facility. So yeah, as you can imagine, it does smell a bit odd, but we've left that part behind and we're walking into the nature reserve now. Let's go. You can probably hear the train in the background. That is probably the train going through Surbiton Station. I feel like it's a great time for me to talk about the entire London Loop challenge I'm doing. Obviously today is day 7 and it's one of the second or third longest sections I'm doing. I know day 8 is going to be another long one, or is it day 9? I'm not too sure. I feel like though there are more sections north of the river, they're quite short sections, whereas the sections south of the river are quite long ones. So I'm glad I'm only doing 2 sessions today. There's no way I would have done about 34 or 35k today. It's all right to do that sort of distance in a single day where it's like a tow path or like, you know, a coastal path where it's just straight on. When it's stop and start like you do with the London Loop, it does get a bit tedious and tiring. Yeah, so I've got about another 9.5k to go. Yeah, that's that. I just walked past Berryland Station and it's like the main road by Berrylands. It's an awfully quiet road in town, I must say. Strange. There is a nice pub there though. There is a London Loop sign behind me, so I know for a fact I am heading in the right direction. We need to go that way now. I feel like every section is famous for something, and this is for the quietest section so far. And behind me is the Hogs Mill again, so we're going to be joining the Hogs Mill again and following that along all the way up to Ewell, I think. Let's go. So I am walking through the Elmbridge Meadows Nature Reserve. So the next couple of the next parts of this section are like different little reserves and nature places and country parks all combined together. So it's a pretty straightforward walk, pretty relaxing. Yeah, just gonna get on with it really. This current path I'm taking reminds me a lot of section 10, walking up to Hatton Cross. Very similar, except it's quite dry and nice, whereas that day when I was walking to Hatton Cross, it was completely pouring down and I was getting drenched, whereas today is quite peaceful and relaxing. It's quite nice actually. We've got another 8.5k to go, so that's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of walking. So by then I will be in Ewell, finishing this section. We do need to cross over a main road that's coming up, so you can probably hear the loud traffic in the background as well. So let's go get that done, get to the other side and carry on with our walk. So we are on the edge of the Hogs Mill Nature Reserve. We need to cross over in a minute and get to the other side. Just need to find the crossing first because I can hear the loud traffic. Let's see if I'm heading in the right direction. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, going through an underpass to cross over. We've had a few of these in the last couple of walks, especially in Barnet. Jeez. It's way too loud to film here, so yeah. Okay, we are finally off that loud and annoyingly busy dual carriageway and onto woods again. I believe this is called Long Meadow, heading towards Southwood. All of these new names, basically we're somewhere near Tolworth. We're walking further down, I don't know, further down this way, heading towards the south. I don't actually know what's the next big sort of town is, so I'm gonna have to have a look in a minute and update you guys. So, we are walking towards Old Malden and then towards West Ewell, where we'll be finishing. Well, after that we'll get to Ewell and finish our hike there. There's a lovely wooden sign saying that we're taking the Hogs Mill Nature Trail. So yeah, I am actually genuinely knackered today. For some reason, even though I've got my walking boots on, my feet, it's aching. It's maybe because I've had a very lazy weekend where I just relaxed and chilled, didn't really do much exercise, or it's just because it's actually a very long walk and I'm genuinely feeling tired. Oh well, I'm just going to put the camera away and crack on walking, so when we get to the end of this trail I'll do a little update. There's a sign here. It's not the London Loop sign, but it's a nature trail sign, so it's the Hogs Mill Nature Trail sign, which means we're going to have to follow that and head in this direction. Came across this huge bridge and this lovely mosaic patterns artwork over here, so yeah, we're going to have a quick look at these and then crack on with our walk. That was actually a pretty decent piece of artwork. Apparently it was to commemorate the painting, the famous Ophelia painting on the river. I didn't even know that was actually in Hogs Mill River. I thought it was somewhere in Cambridge or something like that. But yeah, it's quite nice. Now, the scenery's gotten a bit more tranquil and scenic. It's very quiet. Not many people on this path. So yeah, it's quite lovely. It feels like a lot later than what it is actually. It's actually 5:10. I've just checked my phone really quickly to see the time. 5:10, because it's been such a cloudy, overcast day, it feels a lot later than it is. Because I was thinking, when I planned it, it did say that I'll be finishing about 6:30 the latest. So I gave myself like an hour and a bit to get home. But yeah, so I guess that's another reason why I feel like I'm tired as well, because my body's thinking it's a lot later than it is. I'm feeling a bit tired, so I need to slow down. But what I've done is I've sort of picked up my pace. We've got about another 5 point something K to go. But that was for 20 minutes ago when I checked it. So if I check it now, it's probably a lot less than 5K. We're just gonna crack on, get to Ewell, and I can summarize today's walks, section 9, section 8, and take it easy, I guess. Of course, have a beer. That's always the plan at the end of each walk. The current path I'm taking is in between a main road and some sort of track. So I looked into it. It's actually a nice little go-kart track, believe it or not. So yeah, interesting discovery on top of the golf courses and chickens and the sheep and the deer. There is a go-kart track next over there. Okay guys, we're on the last 3K stretch. We've just entered the Hogsmill open space, and this sort of follows the Hogsmill River, sort of as the river meanders through, and we will end this walk at Ewell in this path. So no more crossing roads, no more, dealing with any other diversions. It's just following this path all the way to Ewell. So this walk, London Loop Day 7, has been a very tiring day indeed. Reason being, it's just a very long day. You had 2 sections, they're both about 12 to 14K. I think one's 14, one is just over 14. So doing that later in the day as well, I'm just tired really, but we're still going to finish it at the end of the day. So yeah, we're going to crack on with that. Now, yeah, overall, it's been a good one. I'm just looking at signs to see which way I need to go. When we get to the end of this, I'll do my little outro and we go to Ewell Station. So section 9 and 8 have been pretty straightforward sections so far. I mean, starting at Hatton Cross, the signage wasn't too clear because we had to cross some really, big roads, and if I didn't have my GPS and my plan, I would have definitely got lost. But after we crossed over and started to follow the River Crane, yeah, things were actually pretty well signposted up to Kingston. Then from Kingston to here, I'm practically like half an hour away from ending section 8 at Ewell. It's been amazing actually, so yeah, no complaints there at all. The question is, if I had to rate this day, London Loop Day 7, I'd say it's somewhere in the middle. It's not one of the worst days, it's not one of the best days, it was just an average day. Because of its distance, because it's 27K, I just feel a bit tired. Other than that, a pretty good day of walking in London. Okay, we're on the last stretch, less than 1.5K to go. I feel like it's about to start raining because I can feel the water in the air. Okay, we've finally made it to the train station. That means this section is over, so I've just completed London Loop section 8, and London Loop Day 7 is also over. I'm running, the reason being, I think my train is due in about another 3 minutes. I do want to catch it, and I don't want to miss it and wait for another half an hour for the next train. So, I was in a bit of a rush because when I got to Ewell West, the train was in literally 3 minutes, and the next one wasn't until another half an hour. So I did rush to get on the train. I made it on the train. I am back in Liverpool Street now, so I can get home from here. Yeah, so just to summarize, it was a really good walk. It was long, I was tired. It was almost 29K actually, believe it or not. Yeah, so that's it from me, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Having a drink now, and I'm going to get home afterwards. So bye for now. See you on the next one. Ciao.